My name's Alan Townsend. I specialise in reproducing heritage wallpaper, and today we're going to have a look at applying heritage wallpaper to some difficult surfaces at the Oaklands Commissariat site.
We knew these rooms had originally been wallpapered because when the sort of 1970s wallpaper came off, it was bare plaster underneath that had never been painted. Through the Tasmanian Decorated Interiors database, we found a wallpaper which we knew was appropriate to the period, we knew it was appropriate to the type of building, and we knew that it was used in the area at the time.
The real problem was the surface itself. In this place what we've got is very rough plaster because the interior rooms were never painted. Now the catch with that is you don't have a nice smooth surface to work with, on top of which the joinery itself, so around the doors, around the windows, has moved over time, which means you don't have a nice clean edge to wallpaper up to. The first solution was to respect the original integrity of the building, which is wallpaper applied straight to a rough, hard plaster surface. By applying glue not just to the paper, but to the wall itself, what you get is wallpaper that will actually stick to a really porous surface. Well, the first thing is, of course, to ascertain whether there are any samples of the original wallpaper in situ. Normally you'd look under skirting boards, behind built-in cupboards, anything that's been put in after the building was first built. We were unlucky, there was nothing left. In that case, we look at similar buildings in the area that we know have wallpapers from this period that are of a similar class, similar style, and run with that. What we had originally was a lot of damage at the bottom ends of the walls. There really was no choice but to have those portions of wall repaired. This is basically the borough charter approach. Do as much as necessary, but as little as possible. The vast majority of it, however, has been left exactly as it is, so that in the future, if anyone does want to take this paper off, they'll find the original surface underneath it. These are not latex papers, they're printed on genuine real paper, which means you don't have any butt joining. Everything has to overlap, otherwise it won't stick properly. The paper itself has selvage on both sides, which means you have to actually trim whichever side is going to overlap. Super sharp Stanley knife, really big ruler, and basically just trim the edges first before gluing them. Using a giant paintbrush, usually a decking brush, you slather the stuff in glue and then fold it over itself so that it all really nicely spreads the glue out. You need to mark out your first drop really carefully so that your first drop is dead level. If you can do that, then generally speaking, it'll stay level as you go around the room. The only way you can cut it is with a pair of scissors. That sounds easy, but when you're up a ladder and you're trying to cut it at the junction of wall and ceiling, it means you've got to keep a pencil in your pocket, mark the thing out really carefully first, and without ending up with paper all over yourself, peel it back from the wall, cut the bit you want off, put it back again. Once you've got all of that on, you then go down to the bottom of the roll, do the same thing to the skirting board, so that everything matches perfectly. By using a smoothing brush, you want to make sure that you've got all the air bubbles out. Is it straight? Or put another way, is it straight relative to the building? If you've done that right, then once you step away from it, it should look like a perfectly smooth surface.
I really think Tasmania is a great opportunity at the moment for particularly younger people to be picking up these skills and really specialising in that niche market of heritage.